talk one more time about your fried chicken ASMR eating idea, Joe?
Okay, so there's a small niche of individuals who want to eat something, but they don't want to eat something at the same time. They usually substitute with things like bulimic or anorexia, but there is this thing called, I think it's mung bong or something, what the fuck it is? It's where people would eat fried chicken with a very sensitive mic, and just, they would kind of hear the sounds of just the chewing of fried chicken, and you can hear like the saliva dripping, and it's just, I don't know what it is. Like, I thought it was really weird at first until I kind of got into it. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, this is really cool. Mm-hmm. Like pouring the Sprite into the cup, then you hear the bubbles fizzing, then the dude's drinking it, then people are just eating their fried chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand because they do that in beer commercials where you hear the thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
And then it pours. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a sensory experience, but that's because that's the ritual part of you consuming drugs, right? So
it's
I think
it's the drug experience without the drug.
Yeah, it's your vicariously, like that's what it's meant to do. It's planting your seed in your mind. Oh, hey, I've had a beer before. I love when even though you don't think about fucking the sounds that it makes when it pours.
Yeah.
It's just associating shit with that. It's
the same thing with the ASMR. It really is. It's simulating the effects of eating fried chicken without you eating fried chicken.
Yeah.
I just think for eating, it's just hard to get past some things because it's not like how do I explain it? Because the fried chicken goes into the mouth and then it becomes just a wet pile of just nastiness.
Oh.
See, people don't think of it like that. They think of the simulation of eating fried chicken.
Yeah, their own sensation of it. You don't when you put food in your mouth, you don't think about how it looks in your mouth anymore. As soon as it's gone from your vision into your mouth, you're like, whatever.
I mean, who the fuck thinks of it?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you have liquids, then that's a bit different. But
yeah. Funnily enough, the word weird, it actually means I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like a Nordic word. Wyrd?
Yeah, like word.
Weird. I think it's pronounced still weird, but it's Wyrd.
Word.
And
word.
But it means fate.
Oh.
It means fate.
Fate.
Or like destiny. So this was originally, I think, kind of found in Beowulf. Because it's like that's like one of the oldest texts ever, and that's where the word comes from. So weird describes like witches who can, I guess, prophesize fate and those kind of things, and then it just went on from there.
Yeah, because okay, fine. So let's take the word weird as the word fate then. People who are weird usually would have unorthodox results, which is why they were considered weird in the first place. If we just do what the standard is and we become the standard, but people who are weird by society standards, we usually have a different fate than those who are common. It's like that, but we're so afraid to be labeled as weird because we want to fit in. It's this whole flock-like mentality, this whole herd-like mentality. Yeah, so I mean, back to the ASMR thing. There's three people this is what I believe. There's three people that like ASMR, but that have an opinion about ASMR. People who don't know about it and think that it's weird. People who secretly like it but say it's weird out loud, and people like me who just straight up fucking love it.
Yeah.
And advocate for that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Is that why we're here?
I think so.
You totally forgot what the time was.
Yeah.
Just start talking, and there you go.
Yeah. Is there any eating of fried chicken in an anime?
Oh my god. Listen, I can talk about food in anime. Have you noticed how good it looks?
Yeah,
like,
usually looks really good.
Like the noodles,
oh my god,
and like those little fish cakes with the swirl in them.
You ever watch Naruto?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ramen noodles, the fish cake.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a whole subfield of anime that's just about food animation. So I watched this video about it. I can't remember the Get Off the Rocket. I think that's the channel name, but they're like an anime channel, and they explained why food looks so good in these shows, and it's because like the Japanese culture like really puts a lot of importance on the presentation of food and how it looks, and then also like the consumption of it. So there's like a whole subfield where it's like there's this show, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like Iron Chef, where like the like animated characters like do this very dramatic like rendering of making food as a competition, and at the end they like orgasm when they have the food. It's an actual thing, but the food looks amazing.
Yeah, the cool thing about anime is that everything is so just blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys ever watched Death Note?
Yeah.
Okay, so remember that scene where he eats the potato chip?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a potato chip
and eat it!
Yeah.
But it's such a genius scene because he's in that moment. He knows that Elle's watching him, and I'm assuming his heart's just beating through the fucking roof because he's so nervous about not getting caught. But he's also getting that stimulation of, I'm not gonna come out, I'm almost gonna kill this motherfucker on the screen.
Right.
It's great. It's a genius scene.
Yeah.
It's like, so Ryuk plays the audience, and the way he acts without the apples makes him go insane. That's how we were. It's like, what the fuck? Why is it such a big deal? Why is he just having a hard on for eating a chip?
Yeah.
Until you try to kind of get into his shoes and realize this motherfucker's being watched. He's trying to get away with this shit while being watched. Yeah, I'd fucking sweat. Yeah.
I would too. I think that was the most impressive part about Light's character was he's kind of this ideal dude because he's a straight A student. He's supposed to be good looking, regular kind of middle of the road family, I suppose. And he ends up getting a girlfriend. He goes to university. Like he has all these very average kind of or like very mainstream life goals, and he's crushing it. But who all the while looks normal is not normal.
Guess who that is?
Yeah, and then there's the apple eating.
No. But
This
is not Light.
Is this a BTS member?
No.
Who's that?
It's a new Death Note main character.
What?
There's a new
Death Note?
There's a new series coming out.
Oh.
Yeah, Taniro. He's just a middle school kid who's super fucking smart. But then it's taking place after Death Note, so after the original one. So Nier is just the only one that's hunting him down. So it's pretty cool. His whole thing is trying to sell the Death Note to make money.
Oh.
So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was gonna be like, you can't use the same plot because it would just be the same thing.
Yeah. So his whole thing is trying to sell it to the U.S. government.
Oh.
To make a ton of cash.
Jesus. Okay.
No, I think people just corrupt the power, man. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You're given all this power without any way to control it, and you just end up fucking losing yourself in the process.
Yeah,
well,
that's what happened to Light, right? Like,
yeah,
and
that's
what I mean. Like where,
first, so.
But did he though? That's the kind of
thing is, I always thought Light was always insane.
Mm.
I always thought, like, even without the book, he would power trip anyways.
Yeah, because he did. I can't remember because it's been a while since we watched it. I can't remember the minutiae of the show, but like, did he always fixate on how shitty and evil everything was?
He was just
like
bored.
The beginning?
No, he was
it's because he was an overachiever and just good at basically everything. He found life kind of boring.
Right.
And he had sort of that jaded, I think a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And then when he figured out he can have the power to further enhance reality by removing people that are unpleasant through it.
Right. But is it like the ring then in Lord of the Rings, or is it kind of like something that makes so the ring can corrupt anyone even if you're pure of heart, but like the Notebook, is it more like people who are predisposed to evil more likely to go even further down, or would someone with actual pure intentions
the book is pretty neutral.
Do that?
It's someone with good intentions, if any, would probably use the book for good, but then yeah, the book is really neutral. It doesn't corrupt anybody. It's just people corrupting the power. Yeah.
But what about the Shinigami?
He doesn't
that presence?
He doesn't do shit.
I guess.
He's there just to watch you fucking corrupt. He does. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. It's sitting back. And instead of eating popcorn, it's apples.
There's a lot of biblical references from Death Note to the Bible. Like, for example, an apple. If you guys know the story of Adam and Eve, the apple basically symbolizes, the knowledge. When Eve ate the apple, she realized she was naked. Then when Adam ate the apple, she realized he was naked. So they hid from God. The same way in this case scenario, where the apple is a sense of enlightenment for Light. Like, oh, I'm gonna eat this apple, therefore I'm gonna realize that the world's evil. Then I can change it myself. Only to him to as near to be put it, he's just a crazy serial killer. Nothing more, nothing less. You can delude yourself into being something that you're not. It's insane.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's all about perspective in a way.
Yeah,
the apple reveals that.
Exactly. You can be this bad manager, but in reality, like, you can be this all-star manager by getting this power, but then you realize that nobody likes you. It's kind of that whole synopsis. It's really cool.
Yeah, and it also plays with that more on the bad manager idea. The show, I think, exposes failed potential or people getting opportunities that they don't deserve, because it does come up like why does Light deserve to even have this notebook, and it was just totally random,
Just
right?
by
Like Ryuk did not plan for him to get it. He just dropped it over Japan. And thought, I'm gonna hope for the best here. Some fucking
See what
brilliant ass
happens.
kid who's also bored and kind of, I guess, miserable in a way. But yeah, I mean, Light ends up convincing himself that he is the one. He says verbatim, "I deserve to have this notebook."
I am
Right.
God.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that happens to some people once they get into a good position like that.
Yeah. Getting comfortable there, bud?
Yeah, I'm just gonna lie down and do
Yeah.
some.
Ooh. Leg lifts. We're starting the ASMR, the workout ASMR real soon.
Welcome to
It's just grunting.
Just grunt.
Welcome to Joe Squad ASMR. Today we're talking about pain of the month, pain of the stomach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So since I've been going to physio for my back, and
Mhm.
I'm doing plank a lot more, because it's a bit better than doing crunches.
Side plank, oblique planks, regular planks.
I don't know any of
Regular-
those ones. I just do the regular one. Yeah.
Now Joe is demonstrating.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
It's
normal
really hard.
plank.
And here's the thing: I never wear socks because it slips. Like it's hard. You have less traction.
Yeah.
So I just do bare feet on the
Mhm.
mat,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yoga mat, and plank is fucking hard, man. Okay, put it this way: it's easy to assume the position. It's hard to actually keep it.
It is. It's fucking difficult, man. Especially because, like, at the end of a core workout, let's say you decide to do plank, then push-ups, hold a push-up, back to plank, push-up
Oh
again,
my god.
hold a plank. It's tough. It gets tough on you.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I doing?
Thanks for showing off there, bud.
You just ate.
Oh, I know.
So we're doing this podcast on our floor because we have a nice little carpet
Mhm.
and pillows, and it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I guess back to, the undeserved positions.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you can get this position, but if you haven't worked for it, then it's going to corrupt you. That's just how it is.
Mm.
Like, we get so influenced by slight bits of power. Let's see someone gets promoted to assistant manager, they usually lose their shit. Because they have a taste of that power. It's
Yeah.
how it is until...
It's the assistant managers always, isn't it?
No, but I really do. There's a difference between a manager and a leader.
Mm.
I think so. I genuinely think so. I think a leader has somehow climbed the ranks and realized who he is, and he's not corrupted by that power anymore. And a manager is someone that just tells people what to do for a functional task. It's crazy.
That's
It's
a good way to
insane.
put it.
It's insane. Like we're always taught, leaders empower people, managers just direct people. But we have that all the time in big corporations because they're not paid to be thinking outside the picture. They're paid to follow the system.
Mhm.
They're not there in making decision level making. Those are C-level executives. Light didn't deserve that power at all. Then got corrupted by it. I guarantee you, if Mikimi got the book, he'd probably make a better Kira than Light would. The guy,
He's a lawyer, right?
yeah, he's a lawyer.
Yeah. He was the one who Light ended up finding
Mm-hmm.
because he has this very kind of I don't want to say he's like an unbiased way of looking at justice, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he has an extreme.
He's kind of like a
Actual justice.
computer where he just sees. I guess it's more not unbiased. I think he's indiscriminate with his justice. I think that's the point. Is that he doesn't see anything as having any nuance to it. It's just there's an extraordinarily thin line between good and bad.
Yeah, there's no gray area for him.
Yeah.
So I think you make a better person because he's gone through life and he sees justice, injustice, and he's kind of made his way through life. I think you would have been a better Kira.
Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But he also had the other, I think the flip side of these weird set of circumstances that make people evil. So Light was, again, like the golden boy. He's perfect at basically everything. And then Mikami was like this nerd kid because they showed that he was bullied in school.
Mm.
And that's where he got a sense of like justice from, was feeling like he's betrayed or kind of like set as an outcast. And that's the other part too, is that if you're always kept on the outside, or if you never feel like you fit in, that can be very damaging as well to a person. There's like the fear of rejection, and then there's being rejected in and of itself, right? And I think that was something that informed the character.
I don't know if there is anyone who, quote unquote, would deserve to hold the book or be Kira.
I think the only thing that could be Kira is a computer.
Yeah, like a benevolent AI.
Yeah.
Which, interestingly enough, they're actually starting to use AI in the legal system.
That's so fucking creepy, though. Like they have AI news reporters sometimes, and they look so human. It's scary. It's fucking scary.
Yeah, there's a couple of video games they had that in.
Yeah.
But speaking of video games, Legend of Zelda, which is another weird Asian RPG, I guess. Well, it's not. I guess it is an RPG.
Okay. Legend of Zelda is actually really cool because what I liked about it was that you're this kid or this adult, depending on which game you play, which incarnation link you play, with no powers. You have jack shit. And then it's usually you face someone who has powers and who has already been established, and you go through these journeys to kick the guy or the girl's ass, depending on which game you play. It's really cool because it shows that you can start off with nothing, then build something and make something of yourself. It's a cool series. But my favorite incarnation Link is Twilight Princess Link.
I've never played Zelda.
Oh, you're missing out.
I know.
Where are you? Oh my, dude, you gotta play it.
It's a serious deficiency.
Yeah, but yeah, so my favorite is the Twilight Princess Link because he actually has no magic powers. And he's able to beat someone who can turn into a boar. Take
fucking
control.
Ganon there's always some pig motif with him, right?
Yeah, I fucking hate how he has a pig motif. But the other incarnations of Ganon, like the Twilight Princess Ganon, you have to stab that dude in the chest as a human, so it's pretty cool. I mean, yeah. But
you know what I was watching the other day? I watched there's these charity speed runs.
yeah,
So they have these I think you might know what I'm talking about. Like they
I know
have
what you're talking about. Yeah,
these giant ass nerds who figured out how to beat like all these RPG long style video games in like 2 hours or less. So they are filmed playing, and there's commentary, and then you have people throwing donations, and it's always for a good cause, like for cancer or something. And so I was watching this one, and there was like this kid who's probably like 17 years old from Sweden or something, and he's like, "This is how you beat Wind Waker in 2 hours, right?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can't fucking beat this game in 2 hours. Like, it's just impossible. And you figure out he's using like half the work is just figuring out what the glitches are. So we figured out some glitches where you go across, because Wind Waker is almost all ocean. That's why I thought that was a neat Zelda game, because it's mostly like in the water, and then there's the boat, which is kind of
the
fucking
talking boat.
It's the most annoying fucking character ever. But anyway, so he does some glitch where he ends up just he can auto like swim like 1,000 kilometers an hour.
I remember that
across the ocean, right? And then he ends up doing like a couple of these things that basically makes the game broken, right? Like you're able to bypass all this shit. So he ends up defeating Ganondorf at the end, and he's got the original Link attire, which is like this blue shirt. It's the very first outfit that you have.
Yeah,
like
his pajamas.
Yeah, like it's
no, it's his pajamas.
Yeah.
It's not. And then he had some cool glitches where he goes, "Oh, so since we got to this cutscene, I'm now gonna have the Master Sword." Because he has the Master Sword in the cutscene, and so the game just like overwrites whatever the fuck you have, regardless, and then gives you the sword. So he goes, "So yeah, we just skipped the entire quest of having to go and build it." I'm like, "Fuck!"
The amount of hours it must have taken to figure the nuance of that game, the glitches.
Like, isn't that insane?
It's completely.
You just have to fuck around.
Yeah, it was just remarkable, but yeah, it was kind of like a trip back in time because the game came out in 2002. Fuck.
Dude, you ever watch the animated Zelda show?
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Jesus Christ.
So
he's not even blonde.
So get this. So people like in Counter-Strike or Call of Duty and shit, like these griefer trolls used to put their mic on and then just play that shit over and over. People like, shut the fuck up.
Excuse me.
Yeah, especially because I mean nowadays you just say, well, mute the guy. But if it's like a competitive team game, like Counter-Strike, where people are like just way too serious, and like you have to hear your other teammates or something. Like it's just so annoying, right? So there's just someone like, hey, yeah.
Can I get a kiss, princess? No.
Yeah,
Guys,
and
he's so thirsty in that series.
Ganondorf looks like a fucking wild boar, and yeah, Link's like a dirtbag. Yeah, they really play off of like it's this voyeuristic fantasy where the Prince Charming douchebag saves the princess
Multiple times. He's this giant man shell too. It's great.
Yeah, so they overdo that a little bit in the especially in Nintendo, right? Because you've got Mario saves the princess, and then you've got Link saves the princess, and I'm sure there's another one where you end up saving a princess. But yeah, it's yeah.
So what's the premise of Zelda? Like, who is he?
Oh, it's not him.
Oh fuck, whatever. Link.
Yeah, this is the
And
thing,
who is
right? So
Zelda?
everybody who first gets acquainted, they see Zelda, and then they see Link as usually like the background image, and it's no, that's not. His name is Link.
Yeah.
Or name what the fuck you want it to be, depending on the game.
Yeah, you can just name him Joe, and his name is Joe.
Have a cup of Joe.
And so there's Link, who's usually a child of the forest, so he's kind of like an elf. And his job is to figure out how to save the princess, Zelda, from this evil dickhead named Ganondorf.
Oh, okay.
Except for this one game, and it's my favorite Zelda game of all time. It's called Majora's Mask.
Okay.
So
yeah, this one's a real curveball. Like, it's different.
It is, and the reason why is because
Weird.
it's not your premise of saving the princess. It's saving your own ass.
Oh, okay.
Because the moon's gonna fall in 3 days, and he needs to figure out how to save it.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Yeah, that's my favorite because it doesn't resolve around saving someone. It resolves on, okay, I have no choice but to save my own ass.
Right.
So this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And it's so different because it's not based on the amount of... Because each Zelda game usually has 7 to 8, 9, 10 temples, whatever it is. The game focuses a lot on the NPCs and a lot of each individual. It's why I love... You ever heard of Watch Dogs 1, Watch Dogs 2?
I've heard, I know what those are about, kind of.
Yeah, so like this is why I love the game Watch Dogs so much, is because you can kind of grasp the lives of these individuals in Chicago or in San Francisco. In this case, you know what each of these characters are going through. You got this girl named... What the fuck is that? The girl that falls in love with this cafe dude? The girl with the purple hair. Okay, yeah, so you have a romantic story on the side. You got a girl who's kidnapped by aliens in a fucking ranch. You got someone who's depressed and he's gonna die, but wants to see his chickens grow up. It's cool because it doesn't focus on the temple, it focuses on the people inside the world. So
yeah, those games are cool. Like, and it's more like character driven.
Yeah, because you focus on the character. You don't focus on actually completing the game. It's super cool.
And that sort of like plot of like you just have to save yourself kind of thing is not used a lot in stories or like in video games. Like there might be like small quests where like, oh no, you're stuck in the dungeon and like you have to figure out how to get out. But like the ultimate end goal is to save something else, save the world, save a princess, save your realm,
Or
whatever
just
it
save
is.
your own ass.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we need more of those.
Yeah.
'Cause that's actually quite interesting.
Exactly.
You can
It's
focus more on relationships.
Oh my god, especially because a lot of these movies have to throw in an unnecessary like romance into it.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars Episode 9. You guys watch that?
Yeah.
Which
Spoiler
one's
alerts. Star Wars Episode 9.
Which was that? That's the newest one?
Yes.
What's it called? Force Awakens? No.
No.
It's-
Rise of Skywalker, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
It's bullshit because like you don't see Kylo Ren and Rey having any sort of romantic relationship, yet they do it anyways.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It's stupid. Like why does Hollywood need to push in a romantic section into it? For me, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
This is big emphasis on this whole romance between one character and another. Why can't it just be him saving his own ass, or her saving her own ass, or him just having some sort of common connection? That's deeper than romance.
Yeah. It's just fan service, to be honest. I didn't see anything like in the first newest whatever Disney bullshit they did with Star Wars, and like there was nothing. It was the fact that he kidnapped her. This is my like idea.
Yeah,
like
what?
he kidnapped her, and like there's like this weird Stockholm syndrome, like
Beauty and the Beast.
BDSM,
Beauty and the
yeah,
Beast
Beauty and the Beast type thing,
Yeah.
where like people fantasize about her like fixing him and making him a better person. I don't know what happens with him in Rise of Skywalker, but
Spoiler: he dies.
oh, does he?
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, did I spoil it? Really?
I didn't know.
Oh,
It
shit.
doesn't matter.
I'm not gonna say.
We're gonna wait until it comes out on Netflix for free.
Yeah, like I'm never or Disney.
Or just illegally stream it.
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Go through Reddit.
Go through Reddit.
Go through Reddit. Find something there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Majora's Mask was also there for to me, one of the most frustrating games I've ever played.
Why?
Because it was it was too complicated for an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
I almost said 18-year-old. I hope by 18 you're able to fucking solve that game.
You might be
But I
right,
didn't
too.
understand that. Like you have to go to the bank, and that's where you can save your money, even though you go back in time. Yeah, and the banker has like just crazy nervous tick where he's just going like he's just the weirdest fucking bank teller I've ever seen.
Weird.
Looks kind of like Robin Hood. And anyway, so you don't know that because you think, oh, I'm going. So how do I explain this, Joe? There's a 3-day cycle, so you have 72 hours to complete the game, which translates into 72 minutes. So you have a little over an hour before you have to reset and kind of start all over. The thing is, like, all the temples and bosses that you clear, those are done each time, and if you manage to get it done prior to that 72-minute period. So it kind of gets locked in. But I didn't know that in terms of your money and other stuff, like with items, like some things that you pick up, they just get lost every time that the game resets automatically. Yeah, so you can put it this way: if you do nothing, then the game it automatically resets. You lose everything. The world comes to an end, and you just start over. But if you manage to get shit done and then save, then it's okay.
Yeah, and you didn't figure that out.
No.
When I say that you were a weird kid.
But you know, man, weird people are destined for weird things. That's just the way it is. Unorthodox methods equals unorthodox results.
That's coming from an economist.
Econ, baby. Yeah, I realize how little I've used my degree. The only time I've really ever used it was against Cards Against Humanity. Or
Oh my
Apples to
God.
Apples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because
Game theory.
it is all about game theory because you need to pick a card based on the person's sense of humor.
Yes.
Like sometimes it isn't the card that makes sense; it's the card that you think the person would want to pick.
Yeah.
So it could be something totally irrelevant, like it could be heights. Then you can just put something like Israel.
Yeah.
Or something like Jackie Chan. and if you understand the person's sense of humor, they're gonna pick that card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just put Israel for almost everything.
Yeah, I think that or like Hitler, and you're good to go, right? No matter what the question is.
Yeah, because you have to understand Morgan's sense of humor, your sense of humor, my sense of humor, whoever's sense of humor. But it's also really smart. It's also really cool because it's a psychological game.
It's psychology completely.
Yeah. It's like, how do you read this person? And even then, let's say someone's going to win, you need to kind of think 2 or 3 steps ahead. What's the best response for this individual? Is it to pick the card that makes sense or the card that doesn't make any sense? And once you understand that individual's, motif or that mentality, you want to go through their best response. It's really cool, man.
Did you win that time?
I fucking won that, man. Yo, game theory. You guys mocked me. Hey, what's good, guys?
Yeah.
You pick fucking Jackie Chan.
It'd just be something like, what's my favorite chip dip flavor? Israel. Do you remember the question that I responded Jackie Chan to? Because I remember having that card and playing it a few times.
Yeah.
Somehow the cards managed to get around to you again as well.
I have no idea what the card was, but I just
because we were playing apples and oranges, not Cards Against Humanity, right?
Apples to apples.
Is that what it's called?
Apples, but it's the same shit.
Yeah.
Apples to bananas. Apples to bananas, potato, tomato.
I hate when people do that.
Why?
I don't understand what it means.
Potato.
No one fucking says potato.
Potato.
Tomato.
Like British people say tomato, but like no one says potato. Fuck. Who the fuck says potato?
If you're on the west coast of North America, those are potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
What do you like about Avatar?
What I like about it was, I guess, it was Iroh's lessons.
Yes.
Yeah, Iroh's lessons are really good, as well as Zuko's development.
Yeah.
That was a big thing because I saw him as a second protagonist. What's that called? A deuteragonist?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know what the word is.
A second antagonist?
Yeah, second. Because you guys ever read the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX manga by any chance?
The what?
Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
I've seen the show though. Yeah.
Okay, now so you remember Chaz Princeton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was essentially the deuteragonist, or whatever the fuck you call it, or the second protagonist. Anyways, back to the Avatar. It was just they had a lot of life lessons instilled into it. And I guess death changes a lot of people, especially when his son died. He just became this fucking...
Oh my god. Like, so Morgan hasn't seen most of the show.
Buddy, there's a window, man. You wanna...
Yeah, you wanna... So my deficiency is Zelda, his is Avatar.
Okay, go ahead.
It's so good. And, like, I just love the different philosophies that they added into the show, because it's not... It's by Western producers, but it's, like, it's very inspired by Asian sort of mythology and aesthetics and religion.
Yeah.
Like, the different factions have their own sort of grounding philosophy that relates to their element. So, like, for the air nomads, where Aang comes from, it's, like, very, like, I would say, like, Tibetan Buddhism type thing. So they have a very sort of detached look at the world. But, that, like, the whole thing is about morality, right? Because Aang is the Avatar. He has to be this neutral ambassador to keep the peace for everyone in the world. But then his predisposition is detachment and just letting things happen as they go. And he has to learn that he has to fight battles, and sometimes violence is necessary and all these kind of things. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, and he runs away from his role.
Yeah.
He, like, at the beginning, he ran away from his role. He didn't want to be the Avatar. And what happens? He ends up being frozen for 100 years.
Yeah, and his entire tribe is genocided.
Yeah, and even at the end, he had to fight the urge to not kill the Fire Lord.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, you gotta kill this motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I can't kill this motherfucker because it's against my whole, my whole belief system.
Yeah.
Yeah, he finds a way not to do it. But, yeah, it was cool, pretty cool how they could see it.
Yeah.
And I just like the evolution of fighting styles from the Avatar to the Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
Because it became... Like, once globalization hit, 70 years in that time, it became more of a mix of martial arts and MMA style as opposed to just separate martial arts.
Oh.
For example, Tai Chi was now incorporated into... You remember season 1 of Legend of Korra?
Yeah, if you jog my memory.
Yeah, okay. Do you remember... What was that thing? They're in the stadium and they're throwing disc around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that incorporates into a sport now. Yeah, firebending is now incorporated into boxing.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah, the underground stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, kickboxing and boxing.
Yeah.
Earthbending is now incorporated into a lot of more just airbending mixed with earthbending. Very quick, fast motions.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing for me. It was like, holy shit, like, with the introduction of mixed martial arts 26 years ago, how much has martial arts improved?
Right.
Like, people always talk about, is Kung Fu, Taekwondo, Tai Chi, are those things out of date? To an extent, yes. But those things have also evolved. Same thing with the Legend of Korra and the Avatar. Those bending styles have improved.
Yeah.
With earthbending now not being as grand as it was before, do you remember Kuvira?
Yes.
Yeah, so look at Kuvira style compared to a, Toph style or compared to a typical, earthbending style 70 fucking years ago. It's just so different. It's very in and out kickboxing. Very fast paced, quick, short burst.
Yeah. It's just so interesting because everything is so based on that character and where they come from. Like, their fighting style, bending style, their like characteristics, how they grew up. Like, it's all sort of incorporated into like everything about the animation of like the bending. It's like. And this is a Nickelodeon show, for God's sake. Like, this is amazing.
They took it off the air. They took Legend of Korra off the air near the end of Season 3 and Season 4.
Yeah. Is it still going on?
No, it's done now.
It's
done. I think they made graphic novels after the Legend of Korra, but I just don't follow those anymore.
Yeah. I've heard that people didn't like Legend of Korra as much.
Oh, I love that. What the fuck? People are just fucking...
I think it was Season 3 or something, but it was... Like, I kind of understood their complaints about it because you remember like the Rava and Vatu thing. So with Avatar in that world, there's no good and evil necessarily. Like, all the spirits are like so beyond human comprehension that we just don't know what they are. But then they like incorporated this like good spirit and bad spirit where they're like order and chaos, and the Avatar embodies the order spirit only. And so people are like, what? That doesn't make any sense. That's like more of a Western style like approach to like good and evil, that there is like this binary as opposed to like more Eastern philosophies.
I actually never thought of it like that.
Yeah, they're based on, because it would make more sense if the Avatar was both chaos and order, because sometimes they have to like have violence, and sometimes they have to keep the peace.
Yeah.
So they were like that should have been more prevalent, but
Yeah. I never noticed that. But man, so what's your favorite season of Avatar and Korra? If you
Ooh.
show.
I definitely think like the later seasons of Avatar, Last Airbender, because of like Zuko's sort of arc coming to peak, and Azula, like that whole oh my god,
Azula loses her fucking mind.
Yes, like that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like the beginning ones for Legend of Korra, I haven't seen the later episodes. Or seasons. I think I've only seen 2 seasons of it.
C3.
Or I don't know which one. Yeah.
Zahir?
Zahir, yeah, I think I've seen that one.
Okay, then you've seen Zahir as well, season 4. Then you've seen everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was season 1 of Korra. Dude, Amon? Dude, that dude was pretty much everything that you could ask for a villain.
Pretty sick.
Because he is this... You have to see him as an unstoppable force. And Korra growing up, the only thing she knew was how to punch shit.
Yes.
So you need to realize... You can't punch the shit out of this guy because this guy's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. He's an air nomad, right?
No, he's a guy that can waterbend with his mind.
Bloodbend
with his mind.
Bloodbend, right,
yeah,
right.
With his mind. Not on a full moon, so you can't do anything. Let's be real here. So she has to learn how to like beat someone without punching them, and that's to expose them.
Yeah. She's like the opposite of Aang, where she's very like, oh, I have to do some action. Like, I have to act. And then she has to learn the Avatar sometimes has to withhold from acting. And when is the right time to do that? Like, the Water Tribe situation, the Civil War.
Oh, the Civil War, yes.
That was interesting, the political stuff, because, oh, man, like, you would really love it, because I'm sure there's some ties to real history with that and all that kind of stuff, but it's just so good.
I mean, what was it like? The Avatar pretty much tied it out to the Japanese invasion. Yeah. Then what was the Legend of Korra? The years after World War II, right? That's what I was trying to mimic.
Yeah, probably with the boom of technology and all that.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Boom of technology, man.
Yeah.
Just, the evolution of everything is just super crazy.
Yeah.
The evolution of a language, the evolution of our clothing line, clout. Memes.
Memes, oh my god. Can you imagine?
Fuck, like our language has evolved to memes at some point.
Just like pictures. We're back to hieroglyphics now, basically. You just look at a picture of like a frog going and you know exactly what they mean by that. It's crazy.
You take like a clip from The Office as a GIF and just you can put it on the group chat.
Exactly.
You know what's up.
Yeah, I know. It's one thing I realized was, why are all the GIFs of like American TV shows that I've never watched? Like, I don't watch The Office, so I don't understand. Because I'll see the person making the stupid face, and I'll go, okay, that accurately matches with the emotion that I'm trying to express, but I don't understand the character, right? So that's the part of memes that I'm like, I guess, critical of, because I both love memes as well, because it's a way of, it's kind of basically, the whole thing is inside jokes, right?
Yeah.
But then also, if you don't know what the fuck that is, what piece of media that is, or where that's from, then you don't understand it.
Or you go to the Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary?
Yeah, well, that was like before all that. Well, like, there's shit that I like Tourette's guy? You've never heard of this before?
Oh, no.
No, I haven't. Tell me about it.
Okay, so I'm going to send this to you later.
Yes.
So this was a meme before memes were even understood on the internet. Yeah, like.
We talk about the internet and meme culture, but the biggest thing that hit me was the show Arthur. Have you heard of that show?
Of course.
Yeah.
Grew up.
Was it PBS? Yeah.
Yeah, PBS.
Like, it's weird because Arthur embodies a lot of the meme culture. Because
he's used for a lot of memes.
It's like, why is that? Why is that the case?
Because everyone grew up with them.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I think that's
everyone who's using.
That's what I mean. It's an inside thing, and you go, oh, remember that? This was like that time, like the Family Guy shit where they always go back, like they always cut to something or they go back. It's kind of what we're doing. It's like, oh yeah, it was, you falling over like a dumbass reminds me of that time that fucking Binky fell over or some shit.
You fart? Or you would
see what the guy, so I figured out his animal, he's supposed to be a bulldog.
What? He doesn't even have a nose.
You see how fucked up that guy looks? Like
That's a rough bulldog.
Yeah.
I feel sad for Binky, man.
Poor Binky.
Yeah. Who's the one that has a single? Oh, Francine's like single, raised by a single mom. Oh, Buster is too.
Buster.
No. Francine she's just poor. She has 2 parents, but she's just.
Oh, right. And she's also Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember one time it was like.
Brain is also Jewish too, I think.
Was he?
Yeah.
Muffy's the rich one.
Oh yeah, Muffy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Francine's poor. Buster is single mom. Yeah, they have an episode all about that.
Arthur's a suburban white boy.
Remember the fucking
I thought
Tibbles?
they were black. Apparently they were
Dude,
black.
Arthur's like, there's no way, dude. You come with a sweater vest with your glasses on.
It's just not a stereotypical rendering. I've seen. I don't know why. I saw this article recently of like people agree that that's a black family, the Aardvark family.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe like the Obamas.
Yeah, the Obama.
Because it's supposed to be in Illinois, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
Wait. Where was the city again?
It's called Elwood City.
Yeah,
It's not real. It's not like, hey, it's in Chicago. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like it's supposed to be like somewhere in like the Midwest or
Yeah, it's ambiguous. Like you can't tell who's who.
Yeah,
I think at
Which is what?
most the aardvarks have grandparents that were black or something. Like,
I swear to God, this is a real. I think the show might have confirmed that they were black. Like
Really?
that's how. Let me check.
Go check.
I will.
Because this isn't.
it's neat. Isn't it you pointed that out though, right? Because it comes down to like what is race actually? Like is it a performance?
Oh.
Is it how you talk? Is it because you look
Is
at
it
Arthur?
how others perceive you?
Yeah, exactly. Because we don't see. Well, that's the whole show is kind of they use animals instead of people.
Yeah.
But you can still tell. Oh, look, the French one is a poodle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It makes sense. Fucking makes sense.
Because it's like you can't see race in that type of show.
Mm-hmm.
You can only see religion because they're Jewish or whatnot.
I think they had one character that was very obviously Chinese. Hold on, like squinty eyes.
No, that wasn't. Sue Ellen was the one that was a judo master.
There was the one we watched recently where there was like a refugee from
What was that?
Somalia.
What?
Yeah, like it was like he had like the Somalian flag and it was about like becoming an American citizen. So like the kid went to Arthur's school. He was in his class and he was afraid that he had to let go of all of his culture to become an American, and that was the whole thing. But other than that, I don't know if ethnicity was a big thing.
I'm just googling race in Arthur. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up.
Yeah, because
Here's a Google because Google's the best shit on earth.
Wikipedia.
What race is Arthur? Aardvark.
Yeah, I don't think there's no confirmation.
What animal is Muffy?
Yeah, what is
Muffy and Francine are both monkeys.
What?
I thought that Muffy was supposed to be a hippo.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
That's what I thought.
Muffy, man, dude, I feel sad for Muffy.
Fern is a dog. George is a moose. Oh yeah, the Tibbles are bear cubs.
Dude, Tibbles are fucking psychopaths. I'm scared of them. But DW's a different case.
Okay.
Oh, okay. There's a Vice article.
Oh,
saying
Vice.
Arthur was 100% black.
Dude, okay, anything like Vice is questionable.
I know.
It's
They're talking about Piccolo
it's such
too.
trash now, right?
Dude,
Yeah.
BuzzFeed articles. Vice. Dude, fucking BuzzFeed.
Yep.
Oh my god.
BuzzFeed.
It's like it's commercializing millennial hysteria. I don't like it.
BuzzFeed
Yeah,
or Vice?
Both.
Both. You watch that episode of Family Guy where Peter becomes a millennial?
Yeah, I
No.
saw that. It's just the most.
Yeah. So basically, Peter smokes he smokes a vape, or he smokes a Juul, and now he has a man bun. He's into tech.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes to Coachella. It's ridiculous.
Stupid.
It's a very like West Coast,
Yeah, it's a
left wing millennial kind of character.
That's too funny.
I guess that's the other thing too, right? Is that everyone assumes the political points of view of people.
Mm.
Oh yeah, George Lundgren. So he's like the moose.
Oh
He's
yeah, the moose.
the
Yeah.
moose kid.
Yeah. Jane Reed. Oh yeah, Arthur Reed. That's his name.
Nigel Ratburn.
So
Oh,
apparently,
God.
Nigel's actually getting married. Like Nigel's actually gay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he actually got married to a dude.
Aw. So you're wearing a Dragon Ball Z sweater, so
Yes.
I'm guessing you're very into
Holy shit! Yeah,
Dragon Ball.
this
We can
was
talk
kind of
about that.
bleeding into my mind the whole time.
Yeah. No, because in this Vice article about Arthur the Aardvark, they also bring up Piccolo. And
Piccolo's a Namekian. He ain't black. He's a
no, but okay, this is from this Vice
Hold
article.
on, this is something I agree with.
So here's what they're saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Piccolo's backstory was very black, according to this guy. Brooklyn-based comedian Jabuki Young White. Okay. His homeland, Namek, was ravaged by colonizers. He always felt slightly out of place around his non-Namekian friends. Single-parent origin story. Characters they felt were black shared some similarities to traditionally black characters, is what they're saying. Interesting.
But it's also pretty cool because like we base a lot of our opinions on stereotypes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, we do. But then like when you actually do it and when you're open about it, you get called an ism. I'm just open enough to admit that I do it.
I think the point is what you do with the stereotype, right?
Like a lot of them come from like the society you grow up in, right? So like for example, like in Asian or South Asian society, you're told that you need to be a doctor or an engineer or whatever. I was told that too. Like my family wanted me to be a lawyer or something, and it's like, yeah, that's a stereotype that always happens. But like that's what makes, you know, people like you and me, Joe. If you don't know, Joe is not white.
Yeah, half Indian, half Filipino.
So like we are more likely to grow up in a family that makes us need to be very smart to be validated, right? So that's why we try to be smart. So then we go to school and then everyone's like, oh yeah, like all Asians are smart. It's like, no, it's because we're forced into that to be accepted by in like our own culture or our families and things like that.
Yeah. Like,
So
same thing with
Yeah.
Filipinos,
Yeah.
man. Like I was told to be a male nurse because then that was the best way I can get a job.
right.
But I was like, fuck no.
No,
I was like, no.
don't
It's
wanna
like
do
no
that.
fucking.
You have the energy for it, but I don't think.
No, dude, 12 hours a day. Oh my
yeah,
god,
it's
dude.
pretty rough.
Like I watch a bit of Grey's Anatomy, and I'm like,
Love that show.
I know that
So
show is
good.
great. It's like wow,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but they're based on a grain of truth, and whether we want to believe it or not, that's how they're formed. That's how
Mhm.
stereotypes are. And I think a lot of us do base our judgment or lack of information on stereotypes. Now, if we don't know much about a culture, we use stereotypes to help us identify with those things.
For sure.
Mhm.
But that shouldn't stop us from learning more
Mhm.
about those cultures. But yeah, I mean, that's just natural, like, human. Like, you are more comfortable with things that you're familiar with. And for a lot of people, the first way that they encounter a new race, for example, like when they're really young, and let's say they're, like, in a very non-diverse community, is through TV.
Mhm.
Or like radio, for example, or internet now, YouTube. And maybe not all the content is reflective of like, you know, how human and diverse, like, you know, all races are actually are.
Yeah, like stereotypes shouldn't get to a point where they're self-fulfilling, right? Where people feel like they have to be like that in
Which
order to.
happens a lot.
Yeah, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. Speaking of breaking stereotypes, so you probably heard about the Korean film that won the Oscars.
Yep,
That's
great
pretty awesome.
movie.
Yeah,
Parasite.
Parasite. I haven't seen it.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay, I've heard that it's cinematic and the story is really amazing and like the acting is incredible.
I'm
obviously.
so afraid to say anything.
Okay.
But I recommend to come in with an open mind,
Mhm.
read some subtitles.
Yeah.
Just prepare to read some subtitles. Come in with an open mind, and you can judge the movie for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm into BTS, so
The
I
Korean K-pop
Yes.
band.
So I'm
K-pop.
so good at subtitle reading now. Like I can look at people's faces and read the text and go back and just I'm not missing anything.
Yeah, it's I can do that too because I usually watch a bit of anime with subtitles too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps.
It helps. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. I don't know if Morgan's told you, we're actually going to the BTS concert in May in Toronto.
He told me. Toronto.
Yeah, in Toronto.
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 Joe's getting into.
His plug stance.
Thank you guys for. Fuck. Okay. Thank you, both of you, Shalini and Morgan, for having me on. It's always been an honor, and it's always such a good time to come on with two individuals who are both clear, cogent, and concise. I do have a podcast called INCNTVS right now. Link in the description, I'm assuming.
Yes.
We do. Thank you. We do give a platform for various individuals to give their uncensored story. That would go from startup comedians to founders to former military personnel to people in leadership roles. So just check that out. We do. I do try to upload twice a week, one on Wednesday, one on Sunday. Yeah. So check it out.
Awesome.
Perfect. Now you guys ended off with the ASMR push-ups.
Let's
Sure.
do it. A round of push-ups all along.
Okay, so how many are we doing?
So we're gonna
They're not
end off. We're gonna end it off with some push-ups here. Okay, to end it off. Okay. Physical exercise. Jocko. Okay. Discipline equals freedom. Okay, let's do 5. Okay.
3, 4, 5. Oh my god.
I can't believe we did that to end it off.
Check out the description of this video and you can see the different platforms we put our content on, as well as our social media links. Thanks again and see you next time.